Hold on to your butts, storm chasers. Here's the man of the hour, the painter extraordinaire, Thunderhead.
And a bunch of clips didn't play. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You see how that happened? Or didn't happen, as the case may be? Painter extraordinaire.
You know, there's something about mech paint jobs that really just brings a tear to my eye, and sometimes a tightness to my pants. This stream has a lot of the latter.
Where's Chaotic Harmony? Wasn't he streaming earlier? I thought I saw him streaming. Let's analyze that word for a second, though. Extraordinaire. Extraordinaire. From extraordinary. Seeming to indicate that there's ordinary, and then there's extraordinary. But let me propose this. Maybe what it means is if ordinary is a quality that one can possess, I've got extra of it. I'm so fucking ordinary it hurts. It's possible. I don't know. I'll put on some music. I'll probably distract from my ordinaritude, ordinariness. Words. Good words. Big words. I need to refill my paint cup. I didn't do that. We got a couple things on the docket today. I've changed a few things with my setup. I changed a couple of angles. I changed the height at which I'm sitting near my desk so that I can have more of a kind of a stable A-frame to rest my elbows on, and my hands come together right here. So, I think I'm close, guys. I think I'm like 99% of the way to the perfect camera angle. We're gonna figure that out. Let me pull up my chat here. Let me refresh my chat here. Good God. Oh. Whoop. I don't sound like a linguistics expert right now. I don't sound like I talk them languages real right and goodlitude. Linguistics expert. Speaking a foreign language does not necessarily make you a linguistic expert. If anything, I'm more of a petty dabbler. English stump, dude. Alright, legitimately, to be fair, Sentient Pickle, English stumps everybody. Everybody. English is one of the hardest languages in the world to learn as a second language. At least, so I have been told. It's difficult to tell what with speaking it as long as I have, but legitimately, once you get into the linguistic field, you discover that English, that's ironic, is one of the most difficult languages to learn all of the rules, vagaries, modifications, and colloquialisms of. Because we just kind of took a bunch of stuff from a bunch of other languages and we're like, yeah, sure, just do that. I gotta put this someplace. I got some parts that I printed out for a friend. I need to set aside some of the locust bits I've been making, and I'll go fill my water cup, and then we can go ahead and get started painting Palandria today, or at least starting. I really haven't done anything on Palandria. I have a color scheme in mind. I have a color scheme in mind, so we're going to start laying it down, and we're just going to hope that it goes well. I also have to work on the base for Kobos, which I've got lined up and ready to go. One moment, ladies and gents. Mostly gents, I figure. Probably a lot of gents. What are you going to do? I'm going to grab some more paint water. Wait, I've got a screen for this. Woo! There we go. I gotta update my damn banners. It still says it's printing the highway, which is close. It's just another of the damn hexless road pieces in black. Not very interesting to watch, but you know, I gotta finish these last few prototype pieces just so I'm absolutely sure that everything I tried to do actually worked. The last thing I want to do is get those files into other people's hands and have them go, what the fuck? None of this fits! Things can seem like they work really, really well in a 3D design space, and then they just don't when you make a physical copy, you know? Alright. What happens when a pigeon becomes a major language? Yeah, you're not wrong. I saw that fucking cupcake dude with the buttercream frosting, and like I immediately began involuntarily salivating. That is out of fucking control. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this angle. It's got mostly like it's good in that you're essentially seeing what I'm seeing when I'm going to be working, like when I'm right here. But if I want to hold something down or demonstrate something, it doesn't show it, and you got mostly a view of my paint rack instead of the kind of neutral of my paint desk. We're going to work with this for today, but I probably will change it up again by next time. I'm always changing something. So I figured I'd give people a heads up. Today may be a little bit shorter than the usual streams. We may be looking at something like 2.5 to 3 hours, just because, man, I've been working on a headache since I woke up today, just feeling under the weather. Not sickly, I don't have flu symptoms or anything like that. I suffer from regular migraines, and I've had just a real low-grade one that I think is... It's probably due to, like barometric shifts, pressure changes. The weather around here has been a little wild lately. Particularly as far as wind is concerned. The USB connection on the printer's motherboard is faulty. That'd be a pain in the ass. The good news is that it should be fairly easy to replace the motherboard if that's what you have to do. Painting Conundrum, copying Mad Mod's Davion, khaki and blue land scheme. I saw those, they look great. Stuck trying to get vertical straight lines. Straight lines with a paintbrush? Colonel Matthew Steiner, I'm going to be doing something similar today. And if I could propose a silver lining to this cloud, your lines don't actually have to be straight. They really don't. There's such a thing as close enough past which literally no one but you will ever notice. And honestly, most of my straight, imagine straight is in air quotes, I've got both my hands full at the moment. But the straight lines that I've painted on mechs, using like masking tape and an airbrush like I'm sure you would prefer to do just offhand, I usually have to go back in and correct those by hand with just some little spots to make it look right. Since you're not making a straight line on a perfectly flat surface, you have a lot of leeway to work with. Generally. Usually. Probably. Possibly. Oh, hey, me too! What's up, cat? That was my cat impression. You guys like that? Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is a very nice rack. No, I don't have anything that sexy. Don't be scared of... No, Matthew Steiner, you can... Something I always try to remember when I'm trying new things or things I'm not 100% confident in. Stripping a model is easy. It really is. The most work you have to put into that is making sure you have the right chemical before you get started. Don't let fear hold you back. Your worst case scenario is you have to paint a model again. Ah, shucks. Ah, shuckles, I always say. I don't say that. That's a stupid thing to say. Nobody should say that. I'm just laying down the grit for Kovas's base, by the way. I sculpted these. Well, that light in this position is almost too bright at times. I might want to tone down the gain just a little bit. Let me see. Where's my settings? That's not bad. I made these craters the other day after the stream out of green stuff, and I just haven't touched Kovas since then. I've not had as much time to paint lately. Lately, almost all the painting I've been doing has been getting done on this stream, which is just more of a motivation for me to keep doing it. There will be other days when I get more painting done off stream. It's just now is not one of those times. There's been so much to do lately. Oh my god. Spring ramping up and the whole fucking coronavirus bullshit and just yada 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 yada. Plenty of stuff to try to keep on top of. That's not bad. There we go. I'll let that sit. Come back to it later. Why are you putting frosting on that hex base? Because it's going to be delicious once it's frosted. Nom, 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 nom. Big old hexy cake. Yeah, Sentient Pickle has a point. Don't... If you go in and do confident strokes, they might be in the wrong direction, but you know what they'll be, generally, is straight, for the most part. And that's better than a wobbly line. You'll see me make wobbly lines or mess up highlights a lot of the time, and I try to always be more confident with my strokes, because that definitely helps. So we're going to work on Palandria a little bit today. This is one of the mechs that I've modified the least for the sake of Rampart Company. Hey, Vandal Noir! How's it going, man? Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. So all I did to this guy... What did I do to this guy? It was a little while ago. Okay, yeah, I cut off his torso from his legs entirely, and then I shaved his torso peg down in the back and angled his torso into more of a shooting position. So I think you can see if his feet are flat on the ground, his torso is tilted back, so his LRNs are kind of aimed more up into the sky. I wanted to give Palandria more of a standing still and firing look. And then I used green stuff to add my interpretation of an aftermarket cockpit cowl onto the catapult, which are just a couple of plates that have blocked up the side windows and another plate that have rendered the main window much, much narrower. So at least I don't have to lens much on them, right? Except these tiny-ass medium lasers. That should be a good time. I'm going to go with a little bit more of a bright paint scheme on Palandria, because in the book it says that he is a... Palandria is a ancestral battle mech for a minor house in Confederation space. Revelations Universe, thank you so much for the follow, man. I'm assuming that that is, oh god, how could I have forgotten your first name already? We've been talking all morning. Something Graham, John Graham, Tim Graham. Shit, just made an asshole out of myself. Well, that's not the last time it's gonna happen today. Anyway, thanks for the follow, man. Good to see you. We've been talking a lot about Revelations this morning. I've been in an opinion-y mood. I've just been going around the internet finding things that I have opinions on and shoving those opinions in people's faces, you know? I'm like holding their faces down in it so they can't get away. It's been a lot of fun. But, I tossed some opinions his way this morning on the Revelations Skirmish Kickstarter, which I keep looking at over and over. I know a number of guys have... Oh yeah, I've had a Revelation. A lot of people... What's up, Nyarbit? It's not my fault. It's not your fault either. It's none of our faults. We're all helpless to our destiny. But, as I say... Okay, so I've seen this Kickstarter mentioned a number of times, and I'm not going to linger too much on it, but I'll give you guys some contextual thoughts. I've seen it brought up a number of times, both in the Discord and in other Discords, and it looks interesting. It looks like an interesting game. They recently actually released the rules. I haven't had a chance to go over them entirely. It looks like a fun game, and I like the visuals of it. More than anything, I'll tell you what I like is I like that these guys are locally, I believe. Hey, Uberims, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. They are working on doing domestic production, I believe, in the United States, using 3D printing technology and a fleet of resin printers, which, as far as I know, and I'm not an industry insider by any stretch of the imagination, as far as I know, that is a relatively untested realm for game production and distribution. Oh, you're in Florida. That's awesome. I'm actually from Florida. I was born down there. That's cool. I still have family in the area. And if you see Jack in the chat, Jack Hedge, he hangs around sometimes. He's also down in Florida. But, oh, crap. What was I saying? Why do I do this? Why do I talk at all? I'm just going to forget what I'm saying, inevitably. For the love of God, somebody remind me. Chat, what was I saying? Please, chat. Fix my brain. Oh, that was it, Project Dark Fox. Thank you. No, it's the 3D printing distribution. I think that's awesome. I think it's great. Like I said, it's somewhat untested, I think, and it takes, you know, some brave people to go in head first. But we were talking this morning, and he said, and I don't want to make any promises on his behalf, obviously, but he was talking about how they may even try to push for like a print at home, print on demand service for some of their files down the road once they're able to, you know, establish themselves, get the first Kickstarter out of the way, get the initial production done, get a little word of mouth and a little bit of branding. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an awesome idea. You guys have been here with me on the stream. You know I've said a number of times, the first company out there to embrace 3D printing and even try for a print-on-demand, print-at-home type of system, like, I'll jump right on board. But, yeah, so we were talking a lot this morning, and he took a lot of information in, and I guess they're gonna sort of take a step back from the current Kickstarter and revamp a few things, and then start another one up with some of the newer price points and different distribution of models, and he seems like a really nice guy. He's very open to comments and criticism, which is something that's all too rare in this business. And if you haven't checked out the Kickstarter, I mean, well, I don't want to push the Kickstarter now because he was just saying he's going to be pulling it and then putting up another one. So I'm not going to say go check out the Kickstarter, but you know, talk to him on the Discord, check out the Revelations universe stuff that he's got going on, and keep an eye out for it when it pops up. I'm excited to see it. So I chose a color scheme for Palandria. Kinda, sorta, in a real broad sense. I'm going to be using these two painful colors right here, this orange and blue. As I put them together, I realize I'm going to be painting them in the colors of the Denver Broncos. That was not intentional. But it's still going to happen regardless, so, you know, you might as well just get used to it. What I want to do, what I'm thinking, is one color. Think of the distribution of the stripe on the Lyran Guard traditionally, how it'll be kind of across the shoulder and not cover a full side of the mech, not a full half, more like a third. I'm thinking maybe blue on one side, orange on one side, with a white stripe differentiating them, oriented to one side or the other of the torso, probably this side, to make it the opposite of the Lyran Guard. I don't know what color I want to do what with, though. If I want to do mostly orange, if I want to do mostly... I'm thinking mostly blue, white stripe, and then orange on the other side. Oh, you do you? You feel that way, do you, cat? Well, just go ahead and shit all over my dreams, why don't you? Coast Guard mech. I see where this is going. Y'all are a bunch of jokesters. Now, I'm going to be doing what I've been doing the last few times, which is using these inks thinned down and mixed with a flow aid to lay on the base colors by hand rather than with an airbrush like I've been doing. So far it's been going well, and it's given me a lot of control, so hopefully today it doesn't screw me over. And I was thinking about using this orange instead, which it's Spectrum Red. It's not strictly orange, but obviously it's very, very orange. But I think because was it Cybern Knight who suggested I use the... It was Cybern Knight who suggested I use the GM color scheme for Gundam for the final Griffin that I'm going to be working on, the Griffin 1S. And I think this is the red I'm going to use for that, because it's different enough from the reds I've used on the other models, and it's still distinctly pretty red. So yeah, I'm saving this color for the Griffin. Without being like, you know, carmine or something like that. Orange Crush Cat, ooh. Paint a big old pot leaf on one side. That would be really attractive. Power GM is the one. All orange, centerline white stripe, and lower legs with blue trim. Huh. That's an interesting idea, and I'll tell you what, Dark Fox, that would actually be easier than what I'm intending to do right now, I think. And when you say blue trim, what are you thinking on the legs? Because the other thing I could do is do all orange with a white stripe, and then just do the legs and feet like these, because this is going to be in my usual undercarriage color, and then there's these big shin plates. I could do those in blue, like the feet and the shins in blue, the rest in orange with a central white stripe. That might be kind of cool. Now, JT, the pilot has ties to the Capellan Confederation, this is true, but it's worth noting that this pilot, like, if you read the little story that's in the Irano source book, this is the ancestral battle mech of his house. He kind of just stole it when it wasn't really his and ran off. And there's something in there about how, when asked about when he would return the battle mech to the family armory, he said, "Oh, in about 20 years or so," and then just cut off the call. So he's running free, making aftermarket mods and working for himself right now. So I don't think sporting Lao colors is necessarily something he would do. This perfect undershade is airbrushed. It is mostly airbrushed. Uberends. This is... And I need to do this process on stream one of these days so you can see it, because people seem to like it. I've been doing this to all my mechs just because it gives me a reasonable sort of... Just pre-shading to start with for whatever that I want... Words. For whatever I want to do. And what this is black primer, base coat. Well, primer. Primed black, airbrushed zenithal white, and then once I get a distribution of white to black that I like, I go back in and I dry brush pure white, which picks up just a little bit of extra highlight on the white spots, and then I wash the whole thing with a very diluted black wash with a lot of flow aid in it, because I really want the black to get down into the crevices and leave the surfaces mostly alone while blending the imperfections from the dry brushing, and usually it works pretty well. I think it came out particularly well on Palandria. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's a good technique. At least I think it is. Well, thank you very much, Uber. Would also be game to see the pre-shade process. I should do it. I really should. Maybe we'll do that for, like I said, once I get Rampart Company completed, I figure we're going to be working on the first of the Storm Chasers mercs. We can probably start from scratch with that. That's going to be a fun model, because for the test model, we're just going to be trying things out, and I'm not really going to care that much about how it turns out, so you'll get to see what it looks like when I don't care, which, if you can believe it, is sloppier than what it looks like when I do care. Leave the two armor doors over the cockpit gray to make the armor really obvious. Pawn burn, I think that's probably a good idea. Now, because I usually do this part on the catapult a different color, this little area with the two little nubs, because it looks like it's it's like a frame for the canopy. So if I do that in gray, and this in gray, and this in gray, I think that that'll sort of stand out. Well, you know what I'll probably do is I'll do them in my usual blue-gray undercarriage color, and then put some scratches on them. I think that'll look pretty decently like armor. Catapult is a vertical stripe, painted all down the center torso and shin plates. Looks so good! And some kanji. Well, I mean, some kanji on it's just gonna look cool, man. Pez Motion, greetings. Welcome. Hail and well met. Crash and burn. Oh. There we go. Alright, so now I have to actually pick a color and start putting it down. Oof. You know what? You know what? We're going to do it right this time. Every other time, I've been like, oh, I just painted half the mech, and now I have to go back and do the undercarriage. Fuck that. I'm going to do the undercarriage first. I didn't, Cat. I did not do it. I have decided that I'm going to be doing that probably towards the end of the streams, and that inspired me to start looking up other toasts that I like. That may become my sign-off, Cat. I've been looking for one for a while, and I'm thinking a toast would really kind of bring the whole thing together. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Ending the night with a toast? I feel like that's appropriate. Before you do that, drink a beer. I'm on it. Cat, I would fucking flounder and just die in public is what I would do. It would be terrible. I'd be here on stream and I'd be sweating and I'd be nervously looking between my cameras and I'd be like, "Where's the chat?" It would be embarrassing. More embarrassing than this. Let's do the undercarriage and stop thinking too much about this. Because I'm thinking too much about it. I can feel it. Not today, O'Coral. That's Tuesday. Well, Cat, it's the only thing about you I can stroke without going to jail, so... And I need a little bit of black paint to go with my coal black. Not a lot. I don't want to overdo it this time, and I do have a tendency to overdo it with the black, and then you kind of lose the blue, so hopefully that won't happen. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a mech paint job today. Well, now we need an ego stork. Typos are the source of the best jokes. I think this is going to be a good color, assuming that I can get it thinned to where I want it to be. Let's try it on a small spot and see how it looks.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
You know, when you're getting started on a paint job, you gotta glorb something, man, or nothing's gonna get done. Oh, look, a nice big mold line. How fun. I think this is a pretty good consistency. The paint, or rather the flow improver, leaves it at a point where I can still use water to kind of manipulate it before it dries, and that should do just fine. Oh, I should put a glove on. I've already started wiping paint on my hand. What the fuck is this music? What is happening? Why do I trust you, Pretzel? You keep doing these things to me. Go away. I will ponder an ego stork. Up there with the clan greedy seagulls. Oh, bad luck to kill a clanner. You know what? I'm just gonna do one more drop of flow aid, and I feel like it's gonna be no gloves, no glorb. I feel like I'm gonna push it over the edge to the point where the paint is no longer usable with that last bit, but like Carlos said, no gloves, no glorb, you know? Fortune favors the bold, dude. Now, yeah, this camera angle is nice because this is a very natural position for me. I can just sort of drop into this without thinking too much about where I'm putting my miniature, and it seems to land on camera most of the time. You're seeing almost everything that I'm seeing from a very slightly different angle. Which seems ideal for a painting stream, right? I've been trying these techniques on some 28mm figures lately too, and oh, I need to use the button that Cat gave me. I'm gonna start using this. Boop, there we go. Just so you know, I've been trying this out on some 28mm figures lately. Didn't come out perfect because I don't have my consistency right yet. It's been a long time since I've painted 28mm, but I'm working on Crossbones right now. from Marvel Crisis Protocol, and he's coming together decently. He has a lot of work to go. These are just a couple of base tones put down. But it seems to work fairly well on other scales too, particularly detailed and textured models. We'll see how he turns out. Oh, I need to have a command for that cat, for the focus. I hadn't considered theming the stream, by the way. That was not something that I had borne in mind as a possibility or even an option. But it's an interesting idea. Maybe what I'll do is I'll eat a big fucking corned beef brisket right in front of your faces. That's gonna be the stream Tuesday, is just me eating corned beef and cabbage. You guys wishing you had my badass sous vide corned beef. Oh my god, guys, that thing is amazing. Tone, I don't mind that at all. Let's do the other foot. Let's do the other foot, he says. What pretzel do you think in the living hell you are doing playing this music at me? I mean, I guess it's synthwave. But stop it. There we go. What I've started doing as I do this, instead of relying on the base tone to go down perfectly even, if I don't like the way the colors are distributing, I just put some water on my brush. And the flow aid keeps it nice and wet for a little while, so I can go in and kind of redistribute the color a little bit as I see fit to give myself some brighter spots. I'm not perfect at it yet, but, you know, every technique takes practice. And I don't want to say I'm inventing this technique. I'm obviously not inventing it. Many people have done similar things to this in the past, but I am making it up as I go. That is something I am doing. I am not standing on the shoulders of giants. I am stubbornly pretending that the giants don't exist and making myself a ladder. And also standing on the shoulders of giants. Really, both. It's like how you can be on a round Earth and still say things like, the Earth is flat. I can stand on the shoulders of giants and still deny their existence. Using kind of a janky, damaged brush today, so don't mind if the bristles are a little all over the place. Woo! Let's... I'm gonna do these parts in the undercarriage color. So I feel like the moving parts make sense. Just pull some of the color out of these top areas so that they have some gradient. Not much of one, but oh well, we'll make do. We like to make it work around here, no matter how uncooperative it may be. It's pretty unnecessary. Nobody's ever going to see it. A little bit of water. A little bit of water. Not much. Alright, and some of these back portions, I think. These vents here definitely want to be undercarriage colored. I think maybe these pistons want to be. Yeah. Maybe this B-hole wants to be. I assume that's what that is. I have no idea what. Maybe it's a hatch. Let's call it a hatch, you guys. That is not the catapult's B-hole, whatever you might be thinking. Who even said that? Cat, ban whoever just said that this is the catapult's B-hole. Ban that person. Now, Palandria is also supposed to have a mod in the form of a fast reload system for the LRMs. It says that in the book, that it's got the quirk fast reload, like it can dump its ammo bins and pop a new one in real quick on the field. The rules for reloading missile bins, though, are like so... I don't know, they don't seem like something I'm actually going to use, basically, ever. I haven't had that many fights outside of scenarios where it's become necessary to reload a catapult in the middle of the fight, you know? So I more or less just ignored that. Alright, I'm going to ease that up with some water. This will both take the color off the raised missiles decently and provide a little bit more gradient beneath them. Not a great one, mind you, but a little bit of one. A little bit of one. We can't both paint lazy and have everything look amazing all of the time. We can't do it. It's just, you know, it doesn't work, you guys. We have to make sacrifices at some point. And a little bit of water to even that out. That's looking okay. And I'm not going to worry about the doors for right now. Oh, I want to do the laser barrels. I can do them again later. In fact, I should do them again later, but I'm just going to do them now because I've got the color on the brush ready to go. Teeny tiny medium lasers. You know what, I'm going to extend the undercarriage color out to the housing for the medium laser just to differentiate this paint job from Norwest a little bit, because I very distinctly made the cowlings the hull color on Norwest. A little bit of water again. Just increase our contrast a bit by removing some of this color. That'll look good once it's next to something contrasting. So this coal black blocking is for future NMM. Matthew Steiner, you could probably make the argument that what I'm going to do is technically NMM-like, but I would not personally compare it to what I've seen some people do with NMM work. It's not really comparable. This is the most baseline, pseudo, partial, maybe arguably NMM anybody has ever done. That down for a minute while I work into the next step. Oh hell, so what did I land on? Have I got a lot of vertical striping? I do have some vertical striping. So, I mean, I don't hate this idea of the vertical stripe. Okay, here's an idea.
Look, I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
Just base coat. Which is what we're talking about, really. What layers have been done on the catapult already, and were those layers done on a previous stream? No, nothing. No layers have been done on this catapult so far. This is just the pre-shade and the colors that I just put on for the undercarriage portions. That coal black mixture I was doing. I'm starting to feel like maybe what I should do, maybe, is orange overall with a blue central stripe, and just call it good on that. I don't hate that idea. I feel like that has potential. And that reminds me I wanted to do some more undercarriage color on top. Yes, Pez Motion. Hey, Guy, good to see you, man. I did orange with white chevrons. Oh, Coral, on the Battlemaster. I did. But I was lining my mechs up today for Rampart Company by color. And I've got 2 mechs with a primary color of red. I've got 3 mechs with a primary color of green. You know, that's a good point, actually. Where I'm sitting right now, I've got 2 mechs with a primary color of yellow, 3 with green, 2 with red, 1 with blue, 1 with orange. So either blue or orange is kind of fair game as a primary color. But maybe I do blue overall with an orange stripe down the center, right? That would look less like a Broncos thing, too, because they're more orange with blue rather than blue with orange. Yeah. No brown mechs. I'm not doing the poo-poo mechs. I'm thinking blue with an orange stripe. It's gaudy and it'll be terrible looking, and that's kind of the appeal, I feel like. So I'm gonna go ahead and touch up this area near the cockpit. Lay down the first bit of color on the cowling. Go.
Do you like sexy battle mechs, sexy streamers, and sexy Solaris cheerleaders? Well, Thunderhead's stream has some of those things, and more.
It's the Solaris cheerleaders, that's the one. That's the one that we've got. I mean, they quit like 3 days in, but we had them. Might want to do that just a smidge heavier, because I am going to touch that up later, and I don't want it being mostly white. That should do. And then I wanted to do the side windows as well. The armored side window. Brown and orange for that Butterfinger look. Pez Motion, gotta step outside, do some yard work, but there's still some sun, man. I feel you. I feel you. Good luck with that, brother. Here's a question. If I'm doing orange and blue, what is my cockpit glass color gonna be? I mean, I only have this tiny piece of cockpit glass that I get to paint. It's minuscule, but you know what it is? It's fucking bigger than the one on the Thunderbolt. That was insane. I don't even know why I did that to myself. There we go. decent. Red, that could work. Let me see. How many red cockpits have I done? I've done 1, 2. I've done 2 red cockpits, so that could work. That could work just fine. Just got told I don't have to worry about TP because we're going to use your face. No, that's probably not what that means. Green, I would say green would be a good choice for Gatorone. I shouldn't let what I've already done on the company determine everything I'm going to do, but I've done green. I've only done green twice. I guess I was thinking differently. I only have 2 green cockpit glasses. Red and yellow are too close to orange. Yeah, that's probably true. We've already done magenta. Now, we've only done magenta 1 time, but I feel like that magenta was intense. I feel like any more magenta cockpits will do nothing but serve to kind of take away from the glory that is Fire Hose, and I really like how he came out. Yeah, look at some color charts. Consult the Oracle and let me know what you come up with. So mostly blue. Mostly blue is where I landed. So let me mix up a little bit of acrylic ink, and let's get started, and let's see how much I'm going to regret this. Right? Weren't we just having a conversation in Discord the other day? When I was like, you guys, I paint things bright, stupid colors, because it's not realistic, and who wants realism? Well, that's about to bite me in the ass. So, you know... You said you wanted to be here when I made a mistake. Well, it's going to be your chance, sweetheart. Damn it, I need to have that. I need to be able to push a fucking button and have Han Solo make smarmy fucking remarks. That's a brilliant idea. I should definitely do that.
Do it.
I mean, I can't use this button for everything. Just most things. And Disney will come after you. As long as I don't do enough of it, and as long as I don't become too popular, which I don't think I'm really in that much danger of doing. You guys, I'm going to have to take a break for just a minute. I apologize. I usually don't take this many breaks. I usually don't need to take this many silly-ass breaks. I apologize. It should be no more than 5 minutes. I will be right back. Yeah, argue about cockpit glass color while I'm gone, and I also invite you to start thinking of, this guy is going to be a vibrant orange-red and kind of a warm off-white, with warm off-white being more up towards the head and the torso being more the red. Come up with a cockpit glass color for him, bearing in mind that he's going to have green and blue lensing on his arm. Just, you know, mull that over in your heads. Because I'm definitely going to outsource all of my decision-making to you. And by you, I mean everybody who isn't O'Coral, because O'Coral just wants me to paint things like poop. Apparently, that's what O'Coral's bringing to the table. So, I'll be right back. course the clips play because I can't seem to figure out how to turn that shit off. Streamlabs OBS, you bastard. I was thinking technically I do have 2 blue mechs because I wasn't looking at Kovas, but I did paint Kovas blue. But that's okay, I can have 3 blue mechs. I've got 3 green mechs. That's not going to detract from the look of the company or anything like that. Plus, it's blue and orange. I think it'll work out. Oh, what's been going on? What's been going on? Doing some airbrushing myself. Oh yeah, Cybra? You know the rule, man. Pixar, it didn't happen. You know. You know how these things go. I don't want that all over my fingers. That's disgusting. Paint at my computer desk, mostly. You know, any desk will do. It took a long time for me to get it set up like I've got right now. So I need a craft room alongside my lair, at least a bigger lair. You do. You do need a bigger lair, cat. Like a proper dragon. Oh, Virg, I read that and I thought you were saying that this week you're going to be working out of a taco truck. I'm like, well, that should be interesting. But that's not what you were saying at all. Oh, I got a sneeze coming, excuse me. Oh, Lord, okay. Blue Mech Group. Oh. I just blew myself. Oh, that needs to be thinner. Let's add some water. I'm going to be moving it around with water anyway. As long as I've got some flow aid in there, it should keep the surface tension broken up. Seems pretty good. 4 days off? Good to hear it. Most people have a lot of days off right around now. I don't know how this is going to look, and I'm always a little nervous starting up something when I'm not sure how it's going to play out. But let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Might have been too much flow aid. I don't want this down in the crevices as much as on the top surfaces. That's okay. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint
Damn
on
it.
anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
Eventually, a man has to glorb or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't want this ink doing is gathering too much in the recesses, because this soft blue is a little weird when it gets down into the recesses. So I'm using the Liquitex acrylic inks right now, and I don't like them as much as I like the Dr. P.H. Martin's ones. I don't know exactly what it is. It's not quite as... I don't know yet. I haven't quite put my finger on it. I'm going to add a little bit more ink just to get some more pigment. Be more like a splut. I don't think we're allowed to say that word. What was the word they used in Future Man Season 2? She's a little bit of a slunt. She's got kind of a slunty face. That was a good one. There, that's a little bit better. Yeah, I wanted some more pigment in there. And every time they called somebody slunty, the future people were like, "You're not using that word right." I'm not 100% on this color. I don't know, it's not grabbing me, you know? I'm gonna rethink this. Maybe a different blue. Maybe that's what I need. This blue's just too pastel-y. Pull up as much as I can with some water and rethink this for a second before I continue. What other colors would go good with orange? That aren't green. Specifically not green. Purple? Purple. Purple. That's interesting to me. I haven't done purple at all. What purples have I got? I have only the one purple? I mean, not that I need like a whole variety of purples. I guess I do have a magenta ink, but then I've got this. This... Maybe I could get on board with this. And see, I don't really want to do magenta. I don't really want to do red. I've done a whole lot of white striping. But maybe purple? Maybe purple. Let me try a little bit of purple and see what it does. I don't want to do more black either, because I've done a lot of black. Probably the biggest challenge in painting the Rampart Company mechs has been coming up with unique paint schemes for each and every single fucking model. It's not as bad when you just pick a paint scheme and you're like, I'm doing this whole company in this one scheme, but I've been trying to come up with something new for every single figure. Oh my god. It's crazy. We're going to go to purple, though, and we're going to see how it looks. I might just fall in love with it. Purple is one of my favorite colors. The first mechs I painted in years when I picked the hobby back up were First Free World's Guard. Speaking of which, I should do some more FWG with this new purple. I really should. Let's see what it looks like before I go committing to anything stupid, though, huh? I'm not hating this. I'm not disliking this as much. It's a little thin. I think I need to thicken it up with a bit more pigment, but I'm not hating it. Lilac. Well, you know, if I go soft on it, it could come out kind of a nice lilac color. That's entirely possible. This foot looks a little funny because I double did it, but that's okay. Let's go in here. I'm liking this better. This is not turning me off immediately like that other color was. I can't say exactly what it was about it. I started doing it and I was like, I don't know about that. Felt a bit iffy. And you know, if you start doing something, if you've decided that some color is perfect and you start laying it down and you just don't like it, it just doesn't do anything for you, there's just something off, you know, take a break, take a breath, reconsider what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with trying something else. I'm slapping this on pretty generously. I think if I just go with one coat, it is going to end up a pretty lilac color, and I don't hate that. I actually kind of think that could work. I'm definitely, as I put down this purple, I'm thinking about how I want to use this on the next Merrick mechs that I paint. And after the second leg, I'm feeling even better about it, I think. I'm gonna get some too, put them in the... You know what, I think I will. I'll get that done for Gutterung. After the stream, I will update the Amazon Blacksmith link with these inks, because I like them a whole lot. They're not perfect, they take some practice, but of the inks that I've been using, I think I like them the best. I'm going to want to do another coat on all of these. This leg is going to be a little funny just because I painted it once and then I cleared the paint off, so it's not as smooth as I would like, but I feel like a little bit of highlighting should fix that kind of right. That's going to want another coat because it's a real light lilac. This is not the cleanest I've laid down these inks, but it's close enough. I don't know why I didn't think of doing a purple mech. I don't know why that color just eluded me up until now for this project. I usually go right to purple. First Space Marines I ever painted were purple. They weren't even Soul Drinkers or Emperor's Children. Those Soul Drinkers were a cool chapter in a cool series of books. Should actually look pretty nice. I think, when I'm done. Maybe. Arguably. Possibly. We'll find out. There we go. I wish I was patient enough to highlight. You know, everything is practiced, Dark Fox. And you don't strictly have to highlight the way everybody else does. I maintain that dry brushing is a technique that a lot of people poo-poo without really giving it the chance to stretch its legs. You can accomplish a lot with dry brushed highlights that you might not be expecting. Alright, I'm going to leave a central stripe area to work with here, while doing the rest of the hips in purple. Kind of mentally limiting the stripe to the width of this little crotch piece. This little catapult cod piece, if you will. This is going to be one gaudy shitter of a mech.
Do you like sexy battle mechs, sexy streamers, and sexy Solaris cheerleaders? Well, Thunderhead Stream has some of those things, and more.
Some and more. Alright. What did I miss? Inside of the leg needs a little bit of purple over here. It's not going to make much difference. It's mostly dark anyway, but, you know, it still helps. A little bit in here. This leg is coming out better than this one. That's fine, though. That's no big deal. Well, it'll be fun painting this while leaving myself a stripe area to work with. I think what I should do is try to outline that as much as I can early on. And then use that as a guide to just slop the rest of the paint job onto this side of the hull. Yeah, might have been a bit much. And down here and over the rest of it. Can be pretty generous with the rest of the purple. Alright. I need to do this. There we go. It's the beginnings of a stripe that I can work with. One side of it, anyway. It's only got two sides, so that's, 50%. Doesn't really need doing down there, but I'll swipe it anyway. Damn, I don't even hate it just how it is. But I'm not going to do purple and white for this guy. I've done too many first free world guard, and he would blend in too much. It is a lot of purple. It is quite a bit of purple. And I'm liking it more and more the more I do. We just like to make things up as we go around here. You know how it is. Here's the other thing I could do. I could do the central orange stripe and then do the launchers in orange also. I don't know about that. I'm going to contemplate that. contemplate this on the Tree of Woe. And more purple. Really just leaning into the purple here. Don't you know? You have to embrace bold color schemes, otherwise they're never going to work. Tree of Wool. Or the Tree of Woe. One color on the inside of the flap versus the back side of the flap. That's a good idea. If I were going to do that, I think I'd probably use my undercarriage color for the inside of the missile door. Just because I don't feel like anyone would bother painting that. I mean, like, you know, in-universe, would a mech tech paint the inside of a missile door? Ah!
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's
not
like
fair.
We're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
It's not fair when glorbing is my paint style right now. I feel harassed. There we go. This is quite purple. It's all coming out quite purple. Middle finger on the inside. Make it emotionally hurtful too. I've seen people paint pinups on tiny things too, and those people are fucking sorcerers. So, we won't be doing that. At least not tonight. Damn it. Hang on a second. Trying to go to my damn dashboard and it won't let me. Go to dashboard. There we go. That's what I was hoping to see. Oh, thank you, Dark Fox. It probably looks straighter to you than it does to me. Well, maybe not. You can see a little bit of the wonk there, but it needs to be cleaned up by hand anyway, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Now I'm gonna try putting some orange on it and see if everything goes fucking crazy. Which it probably will. Straight enough, that's the truth. It's close enough for government work, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Verg is absolutely right. You have to paint more of a suggestion of the shape that you're trying to get than worrying about getting the actual straight line. Most of the straight lines you see on miniature paint jobs that you like real well probably aren't really all that straight. What's up, Carl? How you doing, man? Now, I'm using just straight orange ink here because I really want it to go on fairly bright. Ooh, baby, here we go. Maybe I'll thin it a little bit. It's definitely orange, though. With the highlights, it'll look extra interesting, I'll tell you that. Sick, but it's not coronavirus. That is all that matters. Still, man, take care of yourself. Sorry to hear you got something. Somewhere in there, there's a really tasteless joke about something that's been going around, but I'm just going to leave that one alone. Well, Hal, I'm happy to have you, as always. This is going to be a weird paint job when I'm done. It's okay. I'm very much in home stretch mode right now. If Palandria and the Griffin aren't like my favorite paint jobs in the world, I will survive that. At this point, I just want Rampart Company fucking done. I've been working on them for too long. Maybe a central orange stripe on each of the launchers. You know, like this central body portion in orange, just to repeat it. So we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm liking that idea. And now I'm the one with all the Twitch problems. Oh, it's still wearing on me, Cat. Honestly, it's a bit of a bitch. But it's also something I've more or less gotten used to just in life, you know? Go. Yeah, I do think I'll do the inside of the doors just undercarriage color so as not to confuse things too much. I wish they did a version of the catapult with one of the doors closed. Oh well. I guess I could have closed one of the doors manually by cutting and repositioning, but I didn't do that, so, you know, here we are. Do this one launcher in the style that I was just talking about, and we'll see if we like it. The only way to really know if you're going to like a color scheme is to do some of it. Color schemes that sound horrific may surprise you. Color schemes that sound fantastic may just look like eh. Checkerboard pattern on the launchers. JT, you're trying to fucking kill me, man. What's wrong with you? I don't want to take it quite that far. I have some decals I could do checkerboards with, but I determined a while ago not to get too sunk into Rampart Company while I've got so many other projects on my plate, you know? And I want to be able to get to the Storm Chasers sooner rather than later, so I'm trying not to halt my progress too much or change my mind too much. I've already changed my mind on a few colors. You've watched me do it, but try to do as little of that as I can. The outside edges of the doors I'm going to do in these colors, and then the inside I'm going to do an undercarriage. That way you still get some of the suggestion of the orange stripe from the front of the mech and not just from the back. Not a whole lot, mind you, but a little bit, you know? A little bit. Little bits. I'm going to add a bit more pigment to my orange because I thinned it just a bit too much. That's the nice thing about these inks is they're so heavily pigmented. I use almost none's inks, even when I'm mixing. The royal blue / purple color looks great. Was that a contrast paint? Carl, everything I've put down so far today except my undercarriage has been, and you know what, Vergaderung was saying, and I'm going to do this. I'm using these Dr. P.H. Martin's inks. If you're interested in them, I'll get the set that I bought put up on the Amazon blacksmith panel that is beneath the stream, so that you can go directly to the ones that I actually bought. I have been having a great time with them. So far. I'm sure they'll bite me in the ass at some point. Everything always does. Done some checkering, striping, like the bare minimum on a few Lyran Guard units. That is hard. Yeah, it just takes... That's the thing, is it takes time. It takes a lot of time and concentration. I admit right now, my eyes are not doing the best with squinting and focusing on bright lights. Not much concentration might just kill me dead. Kind of like that. I think this is going to work. Be so cool if I died? Good lord, guy. Come in here and pull some of this pooling out. Doesn't need to be doing that. Chronic migraines do, in fact, suck, Kursala. It's something that I've been living with for most of my life. And, I mean, part of the worst thing about it is the realization that, oh, this is just something that happens to you. There's no... Like, you know, they try things to fix it periodically. There are treatments that are effective on some people and not on others. I'm in the latter category most of the time. That little orange at the top, I think that this is the key. This looks pretty good. I'm going to do this on the other one, too. I'm quite pleased with how the orange and purple is coming out. Obviously, the center stripe is going to need cleaning up by hand, but, you know, that was going to happen anyway. I had a chronic migraine, then I divorced her. Hey! Zingers! What about orange on the shin/ankle armor plates? Well, that would have been a wise thing to think of a while ago, probably. If I were going to do that. Maybe just like straight down. Too late to pull off any of this purple. I'd have to go back in with some white, but that doesn't mean I couldn't do it. I could. Let me see something. How set are you with the flow aid and everything on there? Can I take some of you off? I can ease up the purple on the top part of this plate, and then maybe an orange plate on each leg, just to spread the love around. I don't know. Because I agree with you as soon as you say that I'm missing some orange at this point. There needs to be a repetition of the orange somewhere lower on the body. Purple has set pretty well. It doesn't look like it's going to come off nice and easy, unfortunately. I have to go over it with white, which I may wind up doing. We'll see. rectangle on the outside. Like over here. I'd have to do the same thing to it. For whatever reason, that has not set as well as the other paint, or ink has, and that's actually coming off reasonably well. Well, it did on that side anyway. Poo-poo! I hate when I change my mind. Oh, this one! You're saying this one here in orange. That could work. Neither of those are super heavily pigmented for the purple. I think I can clean those up enough that the orange would go down reasonably. Jesus. Jesus, JT. I think I could make that work. That's not too much for me to go over with white and still have everything work out. I mean, I'm going to repurple these spots I've been messing with. Yeah. I think I can work with that. I wish you wouldn't pool quite so much as you've been doing for whatever reason, Mr. Ink. Mr. Inkules. I'm gonna come up with some thin white, hit those two spots, and then yeah, I'm liking this idea of putting some orange on the legs. Can't be pun burn? Oh Jesus. What the? I don't even know. I don't even know with you guys sometimes. I don't think this color is going to be as nice as the orange is in some other spots, but I'm just going to go real mild with this. Could probably afford to use a brush that isn't splitting on the end, but you know, whatever. Yeah, you're not wrong, Verg. I am gonna mud it up after the fact. So it shouldn't be too bad if it's not as precise as I would ideally like. I don't know what this is exactly that's playing. I don't hate it. I don't feel like it really meshes with my usual painting music. But I don't hate it on its own. Oh, I forgot to do the crotch, too. I completely neglected to do that part. I'm supposed to have orange on the crotch. Add some white down there, because it's pretty dark. That'll help. That will help. Neglecting the crotch. How could I possibly neglect Neglect the crotch. That's one thing we don't do here on this stream. I will have you know. It deeply offends me that anyone would even suggest I would neglect the crotch. We neglect... You know what? No crotch left behind. That should be our channel motto. I need to give this brush a conditioning. It's not happy with me at all. But this is kind of my garbage brush, so I guess I can't be too surprised by that. Getting weird. Getting weird. I don't know where you've been, Dark Fox. I mean, really, this is pretty mild for us, I think. We're pretty edgy around here. Pretty edgy. Oh.
Warning. Fingertips covered in superglue are not approved safety gear for handling razor blades.
Approved? No. Effective? Unfortunately, a lot of the time. I should continue it down the beak here, even though nobody looks at it, and it's kind of malformed and funny looking. Whatever. Whatever. I do what I want. Need to do the purple before I do the orange, I think. There we go. Purple, purple, purple. I'm a little surprised at myself that I didn't think of doing purple on any of the Rampart Company mechs prior to this. I was genuinely trying to hit as many colors as I could, and I just forgot that purple was a color, I guess. "2 days, kids home, no school for a while. Already cabin fever. Fever is with them. Locking myself in my room with minis and painting for my sanity. That's the move, man." Oh. Oh, my back. Oh, Lord. And there's some more purple. A fascinating world of purple. Teeny little bit more. Go. Yeah, this color scheme, the more I do of it, the better I like it. I feel like that's probably a pretty good sign. It's not always a good sign, but I feel pretty good about it right now. I've had paint jobs where I felt really, really good about them right up until I finished them, and I looked at them, and you just have this moment of, what the fuck was I thinking? What's wrong with my brain? Yeah, Sentient Pickle, generally speaking, a brush of mine becomes a dry brush after it reaches a certain point of abuse. After it becomes unusable for other tasks. And then it goes to the trash afterward. Every brush has there's a life cycle, you know? It's like, you know, when you were in high school or wherever you may have been that you were eating public lunches in like a cafeteria. You go like one day you have lasagna. Maybe for a few days in a row, you have lasagna coming out of the kitchen, right? And then time passes and decay sets in, and next week you have spaghetti, which looks suspiciously like shredded old lasagna. Then enough time passes and you have, I don't know, something called like hot dish, which is really just what's left over when the already degenerated muck turns into even yet further degenerated muck. Very much like a dry brush. Oh, you know, a little sloppy there. Come back in with my undercarriage color. Yeah, Verg, this brush needs a little bit of love. I'm really just using it for the broad strokes right now to save my other brushes, but I have a brush washing session saved up ahead of me. I have a stack of brushes here to my left, all of which need some attention. A little bit of TLC, just to keep them running. So I was a little sloppy at the moment, but here's how the paint job's coming together. And to reinforce the orange there on those missile pods, it's a little pale. But I've only done one coat each. What? What's up, Spicy McHaggis? Ooh, spicy haggis, that sounds... I mean, no offense, but a little nauseating. I've had haggis. I have. It's actually, you know, it's not that bad. It really, like, everybody likes to be like, oh, haggis, I'd never eat that unless I was starving. I don't think that I would seek haggis out. Like, I've never had a moment in my life where I felt like, you know what I could go for is a nice haggis. But, if someone put some haggis in front of me, I'd eat it. I would certainly eat it. Not a proud man, you know? Yeah. I feel you. I feel you, Haggis. I really do. I mean, I don't really feel you because then you'd probably, like, have me arrested, but... You know what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm laying down, I feel sure. don't want to go too much more aggressive with the orange than that. I feel like that's actually pretty good. If anything, it's the orange that's in my primary stripe that's just a little splotchy and weird, but that's okay. It's right on the top, so its tone is going to be different anyway, and I can do a little bit of cleanup on it. With whatever color I wind up using for the highlight. It's probably going to be leaning towards yellow. And which should work. Purple and like a yellow gold actually go really, really well together. Did we land on a cockpit color? I can't remember. Did we say green? I think green would actually look really good with both of these. Ooh. I mean, the only thing is that it's going to be green and then green, 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 green for the medium lasers, but I don't know if that's really a problem. I think that actually might work. Yeah. Where's the Broncos logo go? Ha ha ha! I think that could work. I think we're on track. Yeah, this brush does need a boiling. It needs a boiling! After I finish blocking out this orange, I'm going to set it aside and swap to a better maintained brush. But I mean, to be fair, I've had this brush for going on 1.5 years now, and I've been just abusing the Christ out of it, so this really is a testament to its quality. I don't want to go crazy, but I do want this orange to be slightly more vivid than it is. This should accomplish. Actually like the look of this with the stripe on the very top of the door like this. I think that looks pretty neat. And then, yeah, that little bit on the legs, that helps immensely. I'm really glad that you suggested that. I think this looks pretty cool. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I think I can probably go ahead and just start highlighting. I feel like the main colors are pretty well blocked in. Metallic jade green. Yeah, I'm just going to do the lasers and the cockpit in the same green. I mean, why the hell not, right? Speaking of which, I should start that now. I should start that now because I always regret not doing that almost first, you know? And of course, I'm going to use some dragon green. Dragging this, dragging that. Reaper Paints hit me with a wiffle ball bat. Sons of bitches. Oh, I already have some dragon green on my wet palette. I forgot that I had that. I should use a brush that's in better shape, but I'm not doing that, so I guess I will get what I deserve for my hubris. In fact, yes, I am switching off to a different brush, because that is asking for trouble what I'm doing there. Number 1, you're a good brush, but you need a cleaning, and a boiling, and a spanking. That's a good start. What you making on the printer? What's up, Warchild? How you doing? Over on the printer right now, I believe there's a command for it. I don't know that I updated it, so the command might be a superfluous lie. But I am making some prototype pieces for the new, ironically named Hextech Hexless Trinity City Road System. It's called Hextech because I love the hexes, and it's all made for hexes. And then people were like, but I don't use hexes. And I'm like, fuck it, okay, fine. I'll make one without hex. It should be among the last of the prototype pieces that I need to make. All the files are complete, and they have been sent off to Steel Warrior for assessment and release. Toby! Toby with the follow! What's up, man? Thanks so much. I think the green's gonna look really good once we get it lensed. What? What is even going on? Kalidrad with the follow. What's happening? What's happening today? Who is it? Who paid for a bunch of bot followers? Is that what's going on? That's fucking crazy. Oh, I'm glad to have you, man. No, they're genuinely, JT, like, if it had just been you asking about hexless terrain, like, no offense, but I would have ignored it for much longer. That's just true. There were a whole lot of people coming to me asking about doing hexless terrain. So I decided to get ahead of that particular chain of requests. Alright, now what I need is to start highlighting my undercarriage, which is not a euphemism no matter how much it may sound like one. Not a euphemism at all. How's this done? That's nearly dried. I'm going to have to base coat that later. Put this ink away since I'm not using it because I don't like it. So I need to start with the undercarriage, then go to purple, then to orange, do some green lensing, and then probably back to undercarriage color again. That is going to be the unfortunate order in which I have to do this if I want to do it right. As usual, falling back to my ghost gray to lighten up my undercarriage color for highlights. What is the blue that I'm using? Now this is actually a purple. It's, and we were just talking about this, NB Toby. It is over a zenithal, and a lot of people have been asking about these last colors I've been using. I've been talking about them more than enough. They are these Dr. P.H. Martin's Spectralite acrylic inks. They go really, really well through an airbrush. I'm discovering they actually brush on surprisingly well. Oh shit, they're made in Golden, Colorado. That's local to me. I didn't even realize that. I'm not far from that at all. Huh. Anyway, I'm going to be putting the set of these that I bought into the Amazon Blacksmith bar that is below the actual stream window. So if you're interested in picking up a set, check that out after the stream, and you should be able to just click Add to Cart and purchase. If you're interested. And you're going to get a sponsorship with Raid Shadow Legends. You know the answer to that. The answer to that is I would rather stab myself in the brain with a paintbrush. That's the answer to that. Good God. What am I doing? I'm mixing my highlight color, staying on task, working hard. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be mixing for a minute over here until I get something I'm comfortable with. No, it's not. It's not my boy at all. Fuck. That goddamn game. Can't get away from it. I started playing The Surge 2. the other night. I picked it up. It was on sale for like $20. Some of you may remember that literally the first stream I ever did was me playing The Surge. And some of you guys actually helping me figure out how bad I am at the game, which, as it turns out, the answer to that question is quite bad, and I'm very bad at that. But I picked up The Surge, too, because it was on sale. And I hear nothing but praise for the game, and I understand the praise that it gets. I'll take a look at what you got in a minute, Carla J. I feel like the gameplay is improved over the Surge one in kind of a big way. Like, it's hard to deny that much. The writing, like, what a fall from grace. The writing in The Surge 2 is so profoundly disappointing. You know, that might be strong. Saying that it is profoundly disappointing is probably coming on a little bit strong. It's not that bad. But compared to the isolation and fear that came across in the writing and the level design from The Surge 1, I don't know what the hell happened. It is not as good. I was disappointed. I was very disappointed to discover that. That might not be light enough. Like, it could work for some subtle highlights, but it's really just not there yet. NB Toby, man, you and me both. I have fallen in love with these inks. And I say this having used inks from a couple of different companies at this point. But, like, this blows the fucking Liquitex inks right out of the water. Like, there's no comparison in my mind. Oh, no. Oh, what have I done? Well, that should be okay. That'll work. It's only a little bit of blue that merged into my color. Already got blue in there. Shouldn't do much of anything. By the way, Kat, I will get you a command made for that focus button when I use it. Because I realize that would be helpful to you, what with you modding and all. Have a little announcement you can play easily. I'll get that done for you. A little bit here. Painting the inside of the rear of the ankle where no one will ever look. Because I'm a bit of a masochist, you know? Cat of that Pult. What's up, Arathana? How you doing, man? A focused command for us. Again, Coral. I have given you so much power already. Let's prove you can use that responsibly, and then we'll think about it. How about that?
Look, I'm not saying Thunderhead's trying to brush you off, but you're just base coat, man.
Case in point. I'm still just so happy that Chaotic Harmony was willing to make those stupid voice clips for me. It was such a stupid, random idea, and he was just like, oh yeah, totally, I'll do that. Though maybe that's an indictment of his judgment more than anything else. I don't know. It's hard to say. The colors are just a little funny today. Like they are every day, so I guess it's not really all that funny. It's just me being a spaz. There we go there. A little bit here and here. I like to put some little streaky wear marks on the moving parts on the insides of knees and stuff like that. I feel like it gives them more of a mechanical look. You know? Like they have been moving a lot and they've worn on one another and left little striation marks. Was that the right phrase? Striation marks? I know that applies to like glacier movement, but I don't know if it would apply to two mechanical pieces sliding over one another. I don't know if it's that specific to glaciers. I'm sure someone in my chat is like an expert on glaciers or some shit. We got people from all over the world. We got people from America, we got people from Canada, we got people from the eastern United States of America, we have people from the southern United States of America. We're pretty diverse. We have people from England, at least one of those. It's like America 2, right? The sequel? Very worldly. What's up, Eclipse? Oh shit, we got an Australian. That's awesome. Let me bust out my worst cartoonish Australian accent to greet you in your native tongue and make some jokes about dingoes stealing babies. That's the way it goes, right? It's my understanding that actually happened, and I kind of have a hard time with that when people make the, oh, a dingo steal your baby, because I keep thinking about, like, wait, what if that, like, legitimately happened to somebody? What if that happened to me? That would be, like, the worst experience of my life. Can you imagine that? You know what? Don't imagine that, because it's a horrible thing to imagine. Oh my god. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. I think you guys need to check your history books. I don't feel like England came first, you know? I mean, you give the United States, you give us another century, and we will have written it in our history books that we came first. Like, we will have done that. That will simply be where we are. I'm sorry, guys. I won't be able to stop them. They don't listen to me. Go. Supposed to be a hoax, but new evidence kept popping up. Huh? Who knows? What really happened was the parents of the baby murdered the baby, then claimed a dingo had taken the baby. And a movie was made about it. A parody made about the movie, hence the dingo stole my baby line. Is that the truth of it? That's somehow even more depressing than a dingo stealing in and stealing somebody's baby. That's way worse. I feel terrible. Somebody tell me something happy. The world is full of tragedy and misery and blame and recrimination, and I feel like right now nobody's interested in any of it. Everybody's just like, let's get through this shit. Let's just get the fuck through it and we can hate each other afterwards, right? There's plenty of time to hate each other later. Don't have to do it right now. Save some hate for dessert. Don't ruin your appetite. So somebody tell me something good. Tell me something fun. Tell me something good that's happened to you recently. With everything going wrong in the world and all the negative prognosis that we've got, what's working out for you? 404th Exile, good to see you, man. JT's got cupcakes. Ooh, he's not fucking wrong. I saw those cupcakes. They look delicious. I'm old and will die soon, so there's... Oh, that's wonderful, O'Coral. Thanks for... No, Jesus! We don't want you to die, O'Coral. At least not in a way that we would articulate like that. Though you could maybe, like... Okay. O'Coral, maybe you could be, like, our ambassador to the boomer generation, right? If you could call a meeting of the rest of your generation and just inform them and be like, look guys, everybody's pretty irritated with us right now. People are blaming us for things that are our fault. People are blaming us for things that aren't our fault. Maybe we could afford to be a little less, you know, the way that we are. Because I know that's how these things work. So if you could just go ahead and do that, that would be swell. Just get the ball rolling, you know? And that way we don't have to eat you. Or whatever it's coming to eventually. Oh yeah, no, I guess you're kind of just under, aren't you? Well, I think maybe if you just like kind of hunched over a little bit, you know? Like make yourself seem like you got osteoporosis or something, like you'd probably pass. They'd be like, he's one of us. In fact, this is even better. You don't have to be the ambassador. You can be like our infiltrator, dude. Oh, that's a much better idea. I'm disappointed I didn't think of that first. You could be like our boomer spy, dude. Wouldn't that be cool? You could break in and, like, steal all their money. I don't know. What is it that we want from them at this point? You could forcibly inject some civic-mindedness into them or something like that. I don't know how you do that. Is there an injection you can give someone to make them understand the concept of civic duty? Discovered raclette. I have no idea what that is. He's having a steak? Oh man, I wish I had it. I wish I had a steak. Oh, if I had a steak, oh boy. Nice, rare, bloody steak. If I had a steak, I'd fuck it. Disclaimer, I would not actually fuck a steak. I'm just quoting the Lighthouse over here. I mean, maybe that's not fair. Maybe I would fuck a steak. I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. This is not a scenario that comes up too often, you know? It's not that I have anything against steaks. It's just that I want to eat them more than I want to engage in sexual congress with them. Is that why you have a headache? Yeah, it's a barometric shift. Almost definitely. We had so much wind. I was supposed to have somebody come out to fix our oven the other day, which I'm trying to get that done before Colorado's like, oh my god, we have like 1 million corona zombies inside of us. Trying to get that done, get somebody out to fix my oven. But the wind was so bad that it literally blew the topper off this guy's truck as he was driving out here, so he couldn't make it. It was crazy. Forgot what I was saying again, guys. I was talking. I said some shit about getting my oven fixed and how the guy couldn't come out here, and I forgot whatever the hell led me into that. I couldn't have been that good. Now, if it's clever, I'll come back around to it, I'm sure. Clever things occur to me all the time, and then I just don't say them. I wait for the real winners to come along, you know? Those thoughts that will really get across to people that I'm a fucking jackass who just says the first thing that pops into his head. I like to wait for those. Those are the things I'm most remembered for. And all the times that I'm like super smart and I come up with brilliant ideas that everybody should listen to, those are the times that I am alone talking to the wall. It's a pretty good dance. I'm thinking about taking it on the road. I don't know. I don't know if the world's really ready for what it is that I have to offer. Isn't that just adding flavor? Woo! Monsoon season already. In a way, I am talking to a wall, Verg. It's true. I'm just talking to this wall of fucking paint. You can see it right in front of me. In a way, yes, that is true. You know, honestly, guys, part of the thing that I like about streaming, if I'm being analytical for a moment, figuring out what it is about this that appeals to me, it's a bit like a performance art. I mean, it is a performance art. If you really get into it, there are people out there who, for them, streaming is just like producing a show. And they do a lot of work, and it's ultimately a performance art for them. But it's a much more personal performance, because while there are all of you people in the chat, which, I mean, at least, I don't really know. I'm going to guess right now there are 20 people in chat. Just because that's kind of an average that I've been hitting lately. But there could be less, there could be more. I don't know. The point is that however many people there are, it feels personal. You know? Like, here I am, and I'm sitting here, and I got my camera pointed at my stupid fucking face and at what I'm doing, and I'm talking to you guys, and that's all well and good. But you're just sitting there in front of a screen, or on your phone, or on a tablet, or what have you, and for you, it's just me. It's just me. There's a chat room, yeah, but it's you and I that are interfacing. When I look into the camera, I'm looking at you, weirdly, even though I'm looking at all of you, you know? It feels more personal. It feels more engaged than a lot of performance arts that I have done. Not that I've done that many, but throughout my life I always seem to find my way into them, regardless. To some small degree. Either by choice of my own, or because somebody makes me do it, which has happened a strange number of times. I mean, I guess they couldn't really make me, but they certainly talked me into it. That'd be dope. No need to be calling me that. Ha ha ha! Oh, Coral with the jokes! What? How did you meet me, Kat? I don't remember now. How long has it been that we've known each other, Kat? 5 days? 5 months? Help me to recollect. Oh, doing performance? What was I doing? I did a lot of it back in high school. I really did. She forced you into a strange position. It's true. I was like, who the hell are you? And she was like, shut up, nerd. And it was very traumatic. 5 millennia. That makes about as much sense as anything else. Cat and I are actually immortal dragons. I don't know if you knew this. But, yeah. Or it's like a Hancock situation, you know? And a little bit more here. Oh, shaky-handed today. Sure, it has nothing to do with the mass quantities of caffeine that I consume regularly. No, sir, I don't need to change my habits. It is the world that is wrong. Damn it, that brushstroke was going to be perfect, and then I flubbed it. Oh well. Keep practicing. There's always room for more practice. We've known of each other's existence for 17-ish years. Yeah, that is true. God damn it, how does time keep passing? Whose idea was linear time? How can I fire that son of a bitch? See, Kat thinks we've known each other for 17-ish years. What she doesn't know is we've actually known, well, maybe not known each other for much longer, but it was at least a year and a half prior to that that I started up my habit of standing behind her at lunch breathing real heavy. Those were the good times. Those were the good years. Those salad days. In some cases, literally, she would be eating a salad. But okay, technically we didn't know each other when that was going on, so fine, you're right. Creepy stalker years, there you go. It was not creepy. It was perfectly normal, obsessive following around, monitoring the daily comings and goings of, and maybe stealing the phone number of. That's all. No big deal. If that's stalking, then, you know, lock me up. I mean, don't, please, because that probably is. No, that didn't happen. God, you guys have such a low opinion of me. Why would that be? I give you no reason to think anything but the highest of me. Before that, the times I spent peering into the ROTC rooms, that would be where you would find me. That is true. That is very accurate. But all she was lusting after were our rifles. Which is not a euphemism. That song, I'll have to look up the name of it. I will do that for you, JT. If you would remind me, ask me again on Discord after. I'll make sure I get you the name of that song. It's one of those such and such featuring such and such tracks. You were an officer? No, I was not an officer. Okay, JT, let's clarify. JROTC, not ROTC. That is an important distinction. I was not ROTC. I was an enlisted schlub. In retrospect, I should have gone to college and done ROTC before I joined. But, I mean, at the time, like, 9/11 had just happened. Everybody was all about going over. All my friends were enlisting. I mean, you know how it goes. It seemed smarter to enlist at the time. Obviously, that was fucking stupid. But hindsight's 20/20. Would have lowered my opinion of you. And with good reason. With good reason. I would not even have blamed you. I don't think I've ever been accused of being an officer before. I'm pretty insulted. Peer pressure. Sorta. One could say. One could say that my enlistment was ultimately the result of, if not peer pressure, then certainly pressure. More like federal pressure. More like a whole bunch of dumbass propaganda, I think. That's what I would blame, if I were pointing fingers. Which I try not to do. You know, pointing is rude. When I say that, then you go into my Discord and I'm like, such and such is a fuckface. Like, I don't hesitate at all. But that's because I'm partially anonymous. Actually, no, I'm not anonymous at all anymore. I should watch my ass. Otherwise, they're gonna come get me. I do have that lingering feeling sometimes when I'm, like, talking shit about somebody. I try, you know what, it's important to clarify. I try not to talk shit about people. In the sense of, like, saying untrue things just to say mean things about people. Like, that is genuinely a trait that I've tried to work out of myself as a person. Recognizing full well that we all have something of a tendency towards that. You know, like, it's fairly human to be like, that guy pissed me off. I'm gonna say a bunch of nasty things about him to my friends. I try not to do that. I try to keep what might be classified as shit-talking at the very least accurate. At the very least accurate. I try to be fair. There's somebody who's done something stupid or who's acted like a dick. I always try to go out of my way to mention, well, they've done something good too, just so that we've covered all our bases here. They did something good before they acted like a prick. But I always have this feeling, particularly in a community like painting, that it's, you know, that one time that's going to be my last. I'm going to be like, such and such was a dick, and then there's just going to be like some massive social uprising against me. I might be paranoid. Actually, you know what? I know exactly where that comes from. That comes from my involvement a few years back with the Judge Dredd costuming community. That is exactly where it comes from. Judge Dredd, rather Dredd, the one that came out in 2013. God damn, that was such a cool movie, and I got so into the props and costuming for that movie, you guys. I actually own I own some of the original production used props from the filming of Dread. I bought them at auction when they went up. And, unfortunately, at the time, there were some individuals who got into that group real early on, and they started doing production runs of costume items. And that earned them a lot of positive credibility with the group. Just the act of going through the motions and doing that. And that makes sense, of course. That would engender some very positive feelings on the parts of people who existed in a world where 3D printing was not as prevalent, and we all just wanted to dress up like judges, guys. That was the whole point of what we were doing. But as so often happens, that turned into a bizarre cult of personality surrounding this person. So when this person began falling apart, failing to meet their obligations, and screwing people over on things that they had paid perfectly good money for, and then blaming those people for having a problem with the shitty products they were receiving. It might have been me who had a problem with the products he was receiving. It was me. I had a problem with the products I was receiving. That turned into a clusterfuck overnight. Oh my god, I've never had so many specifically British nerds angry at me in my life. It was unbelievable. A judge-inspired color scheme for that could be pretty cool. I could see that. The only part that what do I still have? I've got my helmet, that's up there on the shelf above me. And I've got my original props that I bought at the film auction. But man, I dropped that group like a fucking... like a bag of shit. I was just out of there. I could not... Could I have stuck around and, like, argued and presented evidence and tried to help people and blah blah? Yeah, I could have done that, but who the fuck really wants to do that? When the people that you're trying to help, who don't know any of the details that you're talking about, are just piling on you because they're a part of a weird cult of personality. It's probably part of the reason that I have such an aversion to... Between that and the government, I've got quite the aversion to being a part of groups at all. I heard a phrase a number of years back and I just sort of adopted it, that being, I don't want to be a member of any group that would have someone like me as a member. And it's mostly snarky and mostly jokey, but there's some truth to it. I'm not a big joiner anymore. You know, I've made that mistake. I've been a joiner in the past, and it has bitten me in the ass every single time. People take advantage. And that's why I've started my own group with blackjack and hookers. Or at least, you know, O'Coral and Cat. Ooh. Oh, that wasn't good. I shouldn't have. Ooh. I'm not calling you a hooker, Cat. That is not what I just... You know what? Let's move on from this conversation. Let's just sail right past what I just said into something more fun. Yes, except I made this group. Oh god, what have I done? Well, to be fair, I didn't make this group so much. You guys made this group. I just started painting stuff and having a good time, and y'all kept coming out and wanting to see what I was doing. And it sort of necessitated the group. I mean, okay, did I physically click the button, make this group named Thunderhead Studio? Yes, I did do that. But I did that in response to a demand, as opposed to purely to serve my own ego. Though largely to serve my own ego, let's not beat around the bush. Let's be honest with one another. Can we be honest with one another? I'd like to think that we can all be honest with one another. I'd like to think that's one of the hallmarks of this stream. Yes, O'Coral, you are the hooker. Cat doesn't seem as angry at the implication as I might have thought, so... I'll definitely remember that when I decide to push the envelope next time. Pushing my luck. It's a lot of what I do. It's push my damn luck. What a fool. What a fool. That's because you're fairly enlightened, Cat. I don't see why people do. You know, the real big joke is nobody really has a problem with sex workers. People have a problem with themselves. People have a problem with what the idea of employing a sex worker maybe says about who they are as a person. People feel self-conscious. You can see it every time someone remarks like, oh, at least I didn't have to pay for sex. Like, I mean, you understand the group of humanity that puts you in comprises most of the species. Like, we've been paying hookers since money has been a thing. We've been paying hookers since before money's been a thing. So what could possibly be that shameful about it? It's the Johns that are ashamed. And that all has to do with ego and toxic masculinity, etc., like so many things. Yeah, I use that phrase. I'm gonna use it. You might not like it. You might be thinking, Thunderhead, what are you doing? What are you doing? Using phrases like that. Those are the words of the Sidus. But let me tell you, man, I've been a man my whole life. My whole damn life, believe it or not.
Look, if this conversation gets more about how you feel about something, I'm gonna have to start charging you 50 C-bills per hour so I can listen to it.
That is the most appropriate usage of that particular sound file that we have had so far. Congratulations. I'm just saying, you guys. I'm just saying. From my perspective, as someone who has grown up as a man, who has been expected to act like a man, etc., etc., it's very real. Come on in, baby. Come on in, Pupperstein. Gwynna Boop. Yes. Oh, have you been outside? Yes, you have. Sweet baby. Gwynny, go to your pillow. Go to your pillow. Probably all tired out. Take a nap. I'm gonna get you some food here in a bit. See, Coral, that's the right way of thinking about it. Now, Morgul, that, I believe, has much more to do with the fact that we make it a criminal enterprise than it does with the act itself. We render it criminal, and as a result it goes unregulated, and something that is unregulated like that immediately becomes, naturally, an opportunity for criminals. You force decent people to become criminals, you force decent people to interact with criminals, and what you're doing is you're forcing innocent people to be victimized by criminals. If it's legal, if you ditch the whole prohibition angle. Gwynny, do you have to scratch yourself like that? Is that necessary? It's fucking ridiculous. But what I'm saying is that if you regulate it and protect the people involved and you make it into an actual job, then you don't have that problem. This is the theory, at least. Yes, that was the dog itching itself and slamming the floor with her massive feet every time she did. What? Stop. Nope. This cord is not for you. Lay down. Maniac. I swear, you guys, I swear. Alright, I'm gonna shift away from heavy topics. I just, I have opinions on things. I have opinions on life, I have opinions on the world, on humanity in general, and sometimes you have to listen to them, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that that happens. But I would remind you that you are choosing to be here. It's coming together decently. I think I just want to go a little bit higher with that highlight. It's not quite getting where I want it to be. I am a man slut. Somebody screenshot that. Well, that's not an argument that I want to get into, Morgul. There are plenty of people who would argue both ways. This is neither the time nor the place, I would say. But I can appreciate that everybody's got opinions on the subject. I mean, ultimately, we're here to paint some fucking robots, is what we're here to do. And by robots, I mean mechs, as I'm always keen to remind people, they have pilots, they're not robots, because that's important to anyone ever. What are you playing? Pretzel? I don't know what it is. I don't like it. Stop it. There we go.
Everyone has had too much of now. From megacities like Central to the vast and desolate outlands, nobody wants more of it. How it used to feel is what the people want. And Rememory offers us exactly that. Retros. Remembered treasures.
I have no idea what this is. What this music is. Just don't. It's strange. Don't blame me if it's weird. Yeah, this is the color I wanted.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like
I will
you're
have
trying
you know
to get inside the lines or anything.
But I haven't glorbed in minutes. Minutes!
Retros. Remembered
Oh.
treasures.
Ah, okay. I have a feeling that this mech is going to last one more stream. One more stream, we'll be done with Palandria, and then we can move on to the Griffin, and then when he's done, man, we can put a fucking bow on Rampart Company and be proud of ourselves for having gotten a lot done. Whole company of uniquely painted mechs. That's something right there. Purple Burb strong! Hell yeah. Praise be to the great purple chicken of freedom. Okay, that was a glorb. God damn it, you cursed me. Cursed me! No, finish it now. Well, I'm gonna work on it a bit more. The staring under these lights is gradually starting to wear on me. At least right now it is.
Everyone has had too much of now. From megacities like Central to the vast and desolate outlands.
I agree, everyone has had too much of now.
How it used to feel is what the people want. And Rememory offers us exactly that. Retros. Remembered treasures of the forgotten past.
I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. I think this is a collaboration with Cell Dweller, who I believe is the guy who does Scandroid, and he often tells goofy little stories along with his robot songs. So I assume this is attached to some storyline, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Remembered treasures of the forgotten past.
Well, at least the leg is looking pretty good, I think. Well, the undercarriage of the leg. It's all glorbing to a degree. Eh, you're not wrong. You're not strictly wrong. Though it does hurt my feelings. Oh god.
Retros.
So this camera angle isn't totally perfect. It limits me a little bit, not a lot, but I feel like I can do better. I feel like I can do better than this still. Won't be happy till I see Herbies. Oh, we'll get you some Herbies. We'll get you some Herbies, Carla. Don't you worry. There'll be Herbies. There's always Herbies. You can't even escape from the Herbies. The Herbies will follow you the fuck home. I'm actually really liking how the undercarriage on this leg is coming out. This is just the right highlight color. If I need to ease it out with some black later, I will. Adepticant 2020. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm an Herbie guy. I am. I'm in the cult of Herbie. I think they're adorable little trash cans, and they're a lot of fun to run. They die to a stiff breeze, sure, but try to avoid stiff breezes. What are you doing getting caught in so many stiff breezes has to be my question. Sounds like operator error to me. Oh, that was a bit much. That's okay. Everyone will live. Everyone will live to fight another day. To paint another day in this particular case. There we go. A little bit here. Way too much there. Just a couple of dabs towards the here. There. Back of the knee. Start with the side. Can I show that marble figure again? I certainly can. It's just crossbones, and I really, all I've done is glaze a couple of colors on. I've done no detailing whatsoever on this guy. But the technique seems to apply fairly decently to things at this scale with a good amount of texturing. Probably work on him a little bit more tomorrow. You a trash can or a trash can't, little Herbie? Well, they're definitely trash cans. Can do. Yeah, black wash is going to save my ass at the end of all this. It usually does. That's reasonable. I'm going to get a little bit in here. Not a lot, just a bit there and a bit on the front of this hip. I think this is really going to come together once the purple gets highlighted. That's going to be the step that... There's always a step with a model. There's always a moment when you're painting it where you cross over, where you hit a threshold and you're like, oh shit, there it is. There's what I'm looking for. I feel like that's going to be it with this figure, is when I get the purple highlighted. It's going to be like, oh yeah, there's the look. That's the one. Oh, hello, dry brush tip. How are you? Oh, thanks, Verg. Yeah, it does a lot of the work for you. I think you could probably just do, like, if you practiced it, you could just do the pre-shaded ink, then maybe a seal coat, if you really wanted to, just for, like, quick paint. I try to use it more as a suggestion of where I should go in and highlight by hand. I try to do a lot of things. Whether I succeed at them or not, you know, you be the judge. But yeah, I agree that this method yields some pretty easy results, if that's what you're looking for. Which I generally am, so yeah. It's not as clean as I was hoping it would be, but, you know, we're just gonna deal with it. Thank you for Gatarung. I appreciate that, man. I try. Some would say too hard. All these brushes need conditioning. This one's starting to fray at the end, too. It's just been too long since I've given them a real proper wash, is all. That's okay. You'll get one here in a few minutes, little brush. You just hold together a bit longer. Go. What are we thinking for the Storm Chasers color scheme? So we'd been talking about that a little bit And I'm thinking essentially something that ranges from a blue-gray, or like a dark blue-gray, to a magenta. Or maybe, yeah, through purple into magenta. And we've been looking at some of those, like, mountain lion cut-ups, so I'm thinking, like, towards the bottom of the mech, real dark colors, and then as you come up, you get more and more purple until you get to magenta, and then maybe almost a cloudy blue-white on the top. Sort of like the background screen that I use. That's sort of where we've been leaning. Talking about this one? This little guy here? I don't fucking know what it is. That's a Mark III doohickey. Coolant hookup, there we go. Shock 21 with the best answer. What's up, Shock 21? Good to see you, man. Oh, that's too much. It's always too much somehow. Didn't know mechs could have hickeys. Hoo hoo hoo. Look at the winky face from Shock 21. I feel special. I feel like we've got an inside joke I don't even know about. Pin wash that mistake out later. That's okay, I'll live. Fill me in later, I'm excited. I live inside jokes. Love to be a part of one someday. A lot of the old art has coolant ports on a bunch of mechs. Huh, yeah, I guess that's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that. Also, mechs need fuel. I mean, though, to be fair, any port on a mech this size that you would use for fuel or coolant, you could also put a fucking cap on it. Jesus. It just seems dangerous. Getting less and less accurate the further I go. That was quite the Tigger laugh, was it really? I wasn't even really thinking about it. I just make mouth sounds sometimes. Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about, Vergaderung. That is a good point, really. Close to done with highlighting the undercarriage. I shouldn't think that way. Whenever I have thoughts like that, where I'm like, I'm almost done, what that does is it just makes me fucking sloppy as I rush through the last few. It's a bad line of thinking. This is not a race to the end. This is not a race to the end at all. that black wash is going to help to define this after I get the edges painted, or I'll probably use some of that gray liner I got from Reaper. I love that stuff. Cool blog post where he talked about how he and other writers had to write the original TRO entries. Huh. Those were the Wild West days. Remember, a lot of those guys just got handed, in many cases, just pictures. And we're like, here, invent things that these pictures are pictures of. Okay. Sure. And this is the part where I remember that I should have done the green before I got to this point, but you know what, if I have to come back and touch this up, I think I'll probably live. Before I continue with highlighting the orange and purple, I'm going to give this guy a matte clear coat just because the shine off of the ink is a little distracting in some spots. I think. We'll fix that though. That's no big deal. Yeah, I got a picture on a record sheet and had to write the fluff to match both. I can only imagine how insanely difficult that job would really be. And knowing, I mean, they wouldn't know then, but looking back on it now, how many nerds would get their freaking underwear in a bunch over every little thing that you decided to write. How many of us would shape huge portions of our imagination based on the semi-random musings of some writers who were handed a picture book and told to make up names for what the fuck these were pictures of. Or make the art match what somebody else decided the machine was going to be. Here are a list of discrepancies. Make them make sense. What's up, NB Toby? Have any intention of using contrast paints? I do not. I've used contrast paints in the past. They're good paints. They lend themselves well to a very similar style to what I do. I haven't had great luck with the actual consistency of the paint itself. I'm not a big fan just for my own purposes. I've gotten so used to mixing my own glazes, you know. They're good paints, though. And if you like them, I encourage you to, by all means, use them. And like I said, the style of contrast painting is very similar to what I do. Unavoidably so. And they're basically just like high flow washes or glazes anyway. High flow, high pigment glazes. There we go. A little bit over here. There we go. A little bit on the inside of the door. Not too much. I don't want to overdo it. Just enough, you know? And I've overdone it. Oh well. Oh well. Right here. A bit right there. That's starting to get the point across, yeah? I think that's all the undercarriage bits I need to do like this? Yeah. Think I'm going to try some inks. You absolutely should. So, a few people have asked about them, NB Toby. These inks that I'm using, I love them. This particular brand of them is particularly fantastic. I'm going to be ending the stream here in just a minute. I'm sorry, you guys. I've been just under this damn light. It's just been getting into my eyes, and my fucking head is throbbing like crazy. Ugh. Oh, but despite that, I think we've gotten a reasonable amount done today. I mean, we started with just a white mech, so this is progress right here. Half of this paint scheme you guys came up with. Palandria. I'm going to take... Oh yeah, you can, Vergata take like, I'm a big fan of like Liquitex Flow Aid, which has a retarder in it to keep it from drying. Those are fantastic. I am going to... So close, can I stay on? No, in fact, I'm going to stop specifically because you're going to get your 10 volts. That is the precise reason that I'm going to cut short. Well, you know, we'll see. We'll see if you get those 10 volts in the next minute or so. Hang on a second. I'm going to do a quick browse and see if there's anybody going that would make a sensible raid. Somebody you guys might want to watch. Who knows? Am I going to do a brush cleaning tutorial? If you're interested in it, I mean, nope, stop doing that. If you are interested, I could very much do that for you. We got... Okay, Zambies is painting Warhammer. Zambies is painting Warhammer. She's a pretty good painter. She's pretty solid. So I think we are going to go ahead and raid Zambies. Oh, that was weird. I don't know if you guys have checked her out. She's a talented painter, and she gets a lot of work done on her stream, which I really respect. I think you guys will enjoy her a lot. We've gotten a lot done today. We made good progress on Palandria. Like I was saying, I will go ahead and get a link in the Amazon Blacksmith panel on the bottom of the stream. I will link the inks that I've been using because a lot of people have asked about them, and that's understandable. They are incredibly effective. I will go ahead and ping in Discord when I get that put up. Obviously, you could just go to Amazon and look them up and buy them yourself. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you buy them through my Blacksmith link, they'll kick me like 20 cents or something. I don't know, that'll add up over time. Spending lots of money on terrible, unskippable ads. Oh, that's frustrating. This close to 25k. Alright guys, we have to keep him from getting 25k. Are you with me? Let's engage Operation... Fuck go Coral. I'm kidding. Oh, Coral, I love you, man. You're in here so often. I really appreciate it, you keeping me company like this. Alright, let me switch my screen over here for a minute. Let's go to... Oh, and here's where I reveal that I haven't updated my damn banner. So the next stream will be today at 5 p.m. No, really, the next stream is going to be Tuesday at 5 p.m. I should be painting. Not painting. I should not... Oh, and he got it. JT got it. Kaboom. There it is. Unavoidably so. Sneaky. Sneaky. Congratulations, JT, the next member of the Storm Chasers Mercenary Company. We have 2 on the list now, Vergatarung and then JT. Once we get Rampart Company done, we're going to get a tester done, then we're going to go just roll right into painting Storm Chasers Mercenary Company mechs. Guys, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a fucking great time. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you so much. Kat, thank you. Chat, if you would throw a thanks at Kat, she has been so incredibly helpful. She's so incredibly helpful every single time I do this stream. She makes all of this possible. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, make sure you thank her for at least part of it. And thank you to every single person who's made this stream a success today, who's come out to share some time with me, to give me some advice, to give me thoughts on what I'm painting. I always have a good time. You always boost my spirits. I'm going to be doing this solid the next few weeks. If you're stuck inside, if you're under quarantine or some bullshit like that, come hang out and paint with me. You know, why the hell not? What have we got to lose? Let's paint some mechs. I am going to sign off for now. I believe though, I did make a promise to Kat. And so, with that in mind, should pale death with treble dread make the ocean caves our bed, God who hears the surges roll, deign to save our suppliant soul. I didn't time that well. But you get the point. The blacksmith link is going to be underneath the main stream window. I will be sure to post in the Discord when that goes up. Guys, enjoy Zambies, have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you Tuesday.